Okay. All right. We're live. We're getting things rolling here. I'm a few minutes late. Apologies to anyone tuning in on time. I'm going to start our Instagram live at the same time here. All right. Welcome everybody to Monday Night Perry here on Perry Von Vicious on my Twitch. You'll see it later on my YouTube. You'll see it here on @PerryVonVicious on Instagram. I am working right now on a pretty cool little project. So I've got at this point, I've got multiple bags of these Monster Jam minis that have been gifted to me by a bunch of different fans. Joey Nails, Bobby Gilbert, a few other folks. ZPB has given me a few. I even have a couple old micro machines mixed in here from back in the day. And what I know I need is like a cool way to display them. So that's what I've been working on. I'm going to pull one of these out just so we have, hey, Bobby Gilbert in the chat over on the Twitch. All right, good to see you, bud. I'm going to pull out just one here. This is, I'm going to switch my Twitch cam to the bench top. Hey, Rise Live. Uh-oh. We got the camera frozen on Twitch. There we go. Now it's catching up. All right, good. All right, so this is, on the Twitch, you'll see there's a little reflective Avenger that I just got. I'm going to use that to kind of show our sizing and how this is going to fit here. But this is something pretty cool that I'm pretty proud of. I've been 3D printing these little boxes with these little sort of grooves that run along the side here. There's some mounting holes back here, and there's a slot at the top that corresponds with some interior slots so that I can have a little front piece of plexiglass slide in here. But I wanted the shelves on the inside to be really unique, and they could have looked like this. They could have just been shelves. But instead, I custom designed shelves with little crush cars in them. Show that a little closer on the old Twitch cam as well. But they've got little crush cars, and they slide right into these little slots here, just like that. And then our little Monster Jam Mini, we can sit a row of 4 Monster Jam Minis going across, maybe 5 depending. And we'll have 3 levels of those. So pretty cool little display that I've worked up. And but this to me looks a little boring. I want it to look a little more interesting than that. So on a previous stream, I'd done a little bit of painting here, decorated one up a bit. Oh, Unprofessional Wrestling. Oh, it's Patrick Leadley's other name. Hey, good to see you. But yeah, this is one that I painted up, and I want to make a few more that are painted up like this. Specifically, I need 5 more because I have 2 of these that need to get filled up. So I've printed all those off, and that's what I'm going to be painting on stream today, in the hopes that by the end we can kind of get these stacked up and ready to go. And who knows, if it goes really well, I might even cut the little plexiglass front pieces, and we might be able to see the finished product all in one stream. That would be pretty cool. But I am calling this one done. I printed all these in sort of a gunmetal color PLA, and you can see it has kind of a cool little sheen to it. You know, you get a lot of the little details showing. Pretty great. And when you paint it, a lot of those details show even more. Like, I'm real happy with how that kind of looks there. So I'm going to do the same to these, and they are all a little bit different. Like, the cars will point different ways. I kind of changed so they're at different angles. You know, just try to make it interesting and not too uniform. But I am going to do kind of different color patterns so that they're not all the same. I want them all to look, basically I'm going for like the old school monster truck show look, where you had just whatever was at the junkyard was kind of what wound up being there. Not like now at Monster Jam where it's all one uniform color. They paint them just for the show. I'm not looking for that look. I want mismatch like this. So that's what we're going to do here. And once those go into these little shelves, I think we're going to be looking pretty good. I'm going to be able to display this. I mean, this really is an embarrassment of riches that I have all these Monster Jam minis, and they've just all been gifts from folks. And I know Bobby Gilbert watching on the Twitch chat is going to be super jealous of that Avenger in particular, this chromed up green Avenger. that was gifted to me recently. That's going to go in the display. But yeah, I got a lot of really cool ones here, so I'm going to be excited to finally have them out where I can see them instead of sitting in bags in my basement. So I'm going to start making my way through these. If you hear a hum throughout the course of this, that is because directly behind me, I do have 2 space heaters going at an air purifier. Bobby Gilbert says I'll wrestle you for it. Hey, Graves is here, fashionably late. Welcome. I'm. Let's see. I gotta grab my sleeve of. Gotta grab the sleeve of Dollar Tree cups, and this way I can dole out some paint without just doing it directly on my very fancy workshop cover here. For those who haven't seen before, it is a flipped inside out grocery store bag, nice and cheap. But yeah, so we're gonna start doling out some colors. I think each of these rows, there's probably gonna be some blues and some dark, some maybe some blacks. Like I like the red. I like the blue. I like the silver. I did one that's sort of like a dark, like a black. I like that. These are great colors. I wanted colors that you see in cars. So I may sneak like one, like a white one in there somewhere because we didn't really do that. So to do that, I'm going to pull the folks watching on Twitch will have to take my word for it. The folks on Instagram will see my incredible setup of acrylics that I keep here. When I was in Japan, my wife reorganized this for me, and it is spectacular. All right, so we got some white. I'm gonna pull out the black as well. I have let's see, there's some silvers and some opals. Is this yeah, this is our oh, this is like a pearl. We'll take that out. Why not? This one I think is the straight silver. Yeah, that's our silver. Let's see. Definitely need just some blue. We'll pull out like, I don't know, what do you think? Like maybe a teal? Yeah, why not? We'll pull out like this weird teal. We'll grab not like a fire engine red. I want like this sort of darker red will do. And yeah, we'll grab just a bright, ugly yellow. I think that's probably enough to work with for now. All right, get the Instagram camera set up. But yeah, got a whole selection of paints here to pull out on the field. Those who've watched me before know that I like to do a little mixing up of these. So I'm going to keep the silver and this pearl. I don't think I tried the pearl out last time. We may have to dive into that a bit. I wonder if it'll be a little more opaque if I mix it with some of the white. But yeah, teals and blues. Got some red, blacks, and yellows. Got all kinds here. All right. As always, I'm using cheap craft paint. I like to keep it simple. And thankfully, since it's all acrylic, it washes with just water. So keeping some paper towels out. I got my army of Dollar Tree brushes. And this particular work is not particularly fine detail. I'm not doing anything really special here. So I don't have to worry about having a particularly fine point brush. Just got to find one that's going to behave the way I want. This one looks pretty. Yeah, this one's going to do for us. This is going to do the trick. All right, let's see. Catching up on the chats here. Let's see. Okay, it's just everyone chatting amongst themselves. If you've never been to the Twitch channel, you should check it out. Or if you're watching over there on Instagram, there's a pretty cool community of folks that hang out there in the chat. A lot of regulars. I know Rye. If you're part of the New England wrestling scene, you know Rye, Nikki, a whole slew of folks that come into these chats, which is pretty cool. All right, so I think I want to mess with that pearl first. I want to see what that's like, because I've not tried this, and it does, like, through the bottle it looks kind of opalescent and kind of weird. So yes, Bobby, I am simul streaming. I'm also streaming on right here. You can see my phone set up. I'm on Instagram Live at the same time. And I always mix these up pretty well. because they sit in that drawer for long periods of time between use. All right, let's try this. Let's try this pearl out here. Again, I have no idea what this even looks like. Ooh, although what I'm seeing on the inside of the cap is pretty promising. Ooh, okay, that might not need anything added to it. Feeling pretty good about that. Let's do one car like that and just see what it ends up looking like. Show the gram. You got a little of that there. Show the twitch. It's a little hard to see. I'll cast a bit of maybe a slight shadow. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of all right. I shake it up as best I can, but I still try to give it a bit of a mix on the brush inside the cup. Again, this is all like I use really cheap materials. This is, you know, Dollar Tree acrylics with Dollar Tree brushes and a Dollar Tree cup. Using a grocery bag as my topper for the workbench here. Okay, all right. This is I'm gonna move this right up to the Twitch cam for a sec. You can see it's going to take more than one coat. I almost kind of wonder if this might be better to go over one of the other colors once it's solid on there. Kind of just give it a little sheen. We'll try that too. Why not? Yeah, because this is pretty fairly transparent still. But that's pretty common amongst these cheaper craft paints. You often need to do a few coats to get good coverage. Now, of course, I know that on one whole side of each of these shelves, I really don't have to be that careful. I can kind of make a bit of a mess because you'll never see it. It'll be pointed toward the back of the shelf. But as my regular viewers know, that's really not how I do things. I'm always kind of careful and take my time with it anyhow. All right, I'm gonna change the angle on this Instagram camera a little bit. We need it just pointed up just a hair more here. Otherwise, my hands are going out of frame. I know the Twitch viewers are used to my hands kind of falling out of frame. Wow. I hadn't had a close look at this in a while. I've had these shelves printed for a couple weeks waiting for me to get to this. And I'm seeing all the little details that are in it. And I'm real happy with how it printed. You know, usually when you print really small stuff like this where you want a lot of detail, you don't print on an FDM printer. You don't print with filament. You print with a resin printer. And I have both kinds, but I printed this on a filament printer because I wanted dimensional accuracy, which is one of the real strengths of a filament printer over a resin printer. And Bobby Gilbert says, I'm bald now, Perry. Good heavens, what? Did you lose a bet, or was it like a choice made on purpose? All right, so I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to leave that one sort of opal-looking car because I want to see what it looks like when it dries. You know, we're doing a little bit of split testing here to see how all this ends up. All right, but I'm going to mix up a fresh color here. One of the things I really like to do is to combine two paints, and I've had very good success combining just sort of this craft silver with any other sort of solid flat color. Makes it into a really nice sort of like metallic paint. You'll see it on some of the previously done ones. This sort of a metallic blue is like that. This red, I sort of did the same thing, and I'm real happy with the results. And again, these only have to look so good because they're going to be, you know, they're not the focal point of these shelves. The focal point are the toys. All right. If my voice sounds hoarse, it's because right before this I did an hour on the treadmill, getting in that cardio. I'm coming off of a bad cold as well. Right at the tail end of it, yeah, my voice is still feeling it a little bit. So I'm planning to try to lift when I'm done painting here, but we'll see. I might just decide that I need one more night of rest before I go back in on the weights. By the end of my time on the treadmill, I was suffering, let me tell you. All right, and let's get in here with, ooh, I like that teal. Oh, that That is, yeah, let me get that on both cameras. That's looking good. All right, mix that up and we'll see how we get on with that. A little silver and a little teal. See if we get like a metallic teal color for some of these cars. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. It's a little runny, but that's all right. You know, again, this is not a fine detail bit of painting that I'm doing here. All right. I'm going to go right next to that sort of opal car that we did. Okay, the coverage on this is much nicer. I like that. Okay, I think this is going to work. It might take 2 coats like the other one, but I am open to that. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. That reads as junk car, you know, and that's the goal. You want, you know, the story we're telling here, at least what I'm aiming for, is 1980s monster truck show, you know, just cars they pulled from the junkyard. And I could, you know, I could come back in here with like a silver and try to highlight like bumpers or, you know, windows or whatever. But again, it's a shelf to display small monster trucks. So I don't need that level of detail necessarily. That seems like a bit of overkill. Let's see. I see. Bobby Gilbert was getting tired of the coloring in his hair. Just started all over. Hey, that's all right. Sometimes you got to do it. I've been having a crisis of self lately, thinking about trimming my beard way down. You know, I get the sort of mixed feeling where it's like, I've put all this time into not trimming my beard to get it nice and long, and you know, then I'll do a little cleanup on it. I'll feel like I like it more for a couple days, and then I really don't anymore, and I want to change it again, and yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. All right. So I'm going to jump between a bunch of these shelves because I want to mix the colors all up between a bunch of them. But for right now, because I like this teal, I'm going to hit at least 2 cars on here with it. That way that one coat can kind of dry and I can come back and hit a little more. The opal's growing on me. It's much brighter than that initial, the sort of gunmetal of the Bear PLA. Again, I actively chose to print this in the sort of gunmetal color because I knew that it would give me a good base for what I was trying to make it look like. I'll tell you, taking a break from working out because you're sick is really hard because you want to get back to it, but you know that you're not actually going to make any progress. If anything, you're just going to make the sickness take longer to get better. But what's even harder is knowing when to start back in. Because like right now I'm at the very tail end of this and I can still hear it in my voice and I don't like that. And you know, my instinct is I should be completely over it before I start back in, but you know, I want to start back in again. All right, so I'm going to grab one more shelf and I'm going to put a few more teals on this one. All right, that's looking good. Before I do, I'm going to crack open my Powerade here. Not a sponsor, but I wish they were. Again, I just finished my cardio right before the stream, so I've been dying to take a sip of that. All right, here we go. Dive into this next one. Let's see, we put those close to the end. I'm going to put like them one apart from each other and way toward the middle. You know, just something a little bit different than the last one. I want to know, there was damage in the mail of the Avenger that I spent all that time making for Bobby Gilbert. USPS failed me, even though it was very carefully packed. It somehow broke in the mail. Bobby, have you had the chance to super glue that back together yet? because I've made a lot of those sort of toys, I've had a lot of experience with when something breaks on them, and I know that the super glue works really well with that particular type of plastic, and even with the metal. You know, it's kind of the perfect glue for that particular piece. Bobby says, "Is that why you didn't stream last week?" Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. There's lots of reasons why I didn't stream last week. And in fact, I did end up streaming last week. I streamed twice. They were just in the middle of the day and unannounced. I was working on some 3D prints for a client that are all out of reach right now. But I have some figures I've been working on for your homie, the Nomi, Gabby Forza, one of the true delights of indie wrestling in the Northeast or anywhere. And that order is just about done. And I'll have that delivered to her this weekend at Limitless Wrestling in Yarmouth, Maine. Looking forward to that. Riding up with announcer extraordinaire, the voice of New England professional wrestling, Johnny Torres. I don't know if that's a moniker he would use, but that's how I think of him. When I think of wrestling in New England, it's Johnny Torres' voice that I hear. All right, it's looking pretty vibrant, pretty good. I like that. Good coverage. Nika Beans watching over on Instagram says, "I want to paint a Nomi or paint a homie." Um, you'd have to talk to Gabby about that. I believe she's planning to paint them herself and sell them. Um, all right. While that paintbrush soaks for a sec, I'm going to grab one of the Nomis to show on camera real quick. That one looks pretty good. I have a pile of these that still need some cleanup, and then they all need to go through the curing box a bit. But for those on Twitch, this is the Gabby Forza, your homie, the Nomi figure. For those on Instagram, enjoy. That is your homie, the Nomi, Gabby Forza. It's her gear through and through. Very pleased with how these turned out, and really looking forward to delivering them to Gabby. She and I started working on that project together, boy, almost a year ago. It was quite some time, but I'm real happy with how that turned out. And I've got 40 of them sitting on the table behind me. A sizable order for sure. All right, so we're going to call that the teal for now. When I look at this original one, I do like some of the plain silvers, and I think I'm going to have to work some more of those in. I like the metallic blue is pretty good. I'm trying to remember if I actually just had a metallic blue or if it was one that I added silver to. I guess it must have been one I added the silver to. I know Nika Beans is over on the Instagram and probably wasn't tuned in earlier, so I'm going to show her now. This is my my drawer of paints that my wife organized for me while I was in Japan. So very, very useful to have a huge collection like that. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I have mixed feelings on how the opal is drying, but we might come back and do a second coat. It's looking a little bit splotchy, but again, it's supposed to be a junk car, so maybe that's good. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna keep this one out though, and I think we're gonna go with like a black and some silver. We're gonna make like a metallic black color, because that I really liked the contrast it added on the first row that I did. I think it looks really nice. Kind of stands out a little bit. Seabrook329. I already told Gabby I'll be getting multiple when she starts selling them at shows. Hey, that's awesome. I'm so glad. I when Gabby and I were initially talking about making those gnomes, you know, she kind of said like, well, how many do you think I should order? You know, do you think I'll sell a lot? And I told her, you know, well, you're booked a lot more than I am, first of all. You know, you're, you know, I think you're arguably, certainly a more popular act than I am, and I think she is. She's incredibly popular. And when I've had my figures that I made, I can't keep them in stock. They just fly off the merch table. So she and I kind of thought about it, and we did her initial run at a pretty moderate number. Um, but I can always make her more, and I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. I imagine, depending on how fast she can paint them to sell them, they're going to move. I don't think she's going to be able to keep them in stock either. So if you're another wrestler and you're thinking of having me make some having me make some figures for you, might want to move on it, because I might just be backed up making figures for Gabby forever. You never know. All right, let's get some black on a couple of these here. Put one like maybe right here. This is you know, for those of us millennial kids that grew up watching Bob Ross in real time and in reruns on PBS when we were homesick from school. This is sort of the Bob Ross part where you can, you know, you can pick whichever car you want to be whichever color you want, you know. Now that said, if you collect Monster Jam minis and you like this little shelf that I'm making, for a price, a very reasonable price, I think, I can make more of these. I can sell them painted, I can sell them unpainted, I can print them in different colors. If you don't like the black shelf with the silver, if you don't like the black case with the silver shelves, I can do different colors there. Do something brighter, something darker. All right, I'm going to put another black one way down, all the way at the end here. We're going to do this last one here. Now this black has come out a little bit plain. I did mix some silver in with it, but that's okay, because again, they're junk cars. I don't want them to be too sparkly. I don't want them to look too nice. You know, this is supposed to be whatever a local junkyard couldn't see value in as far as parts, so they let the old United States Hot Rod Association take it out and use it for their truck and tractor pull sideshow, where they would have Bigfoot or King Kong or Excalibur come out and do a car crush. All right, I'm gonna let that one dry. We go back to this one where we had a couple teals and we had that sort of opalescent one. I'm going to put one black one on here as well. I'm going to put it dead center, right in the middle. You know, these painting streams are really interesting, because I will paint a few of these and think to myself, boy, I'm never going to fill a stream with this. This is going to go real short. And then I will look up and realize that I've been streaming far longer than I thought I had. All right, that's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to take one more shelf and put a few on here that will be black. Again, I'm trying to make all of them a little bit different from each other. I don't want any of these shelves to really look the same. So just trying to find variety, you know, mix a few in. I think I'm going to put like maybe just one on this one. Yeah, maybe just, no, you know what? We'll do like three. We'll do like three. We've done a couple with one, we've done one with two. You know, one of the hardest things to do when you're making a model, you know, one of the things that's a real art and that I'm not really doing here is weathering. And the reason is the human brain is awful at mimicking randomness. You know, the human brain will create patterns where there are no patterns. So when you're trying to mimic things like rust and mud and dirt, it's very hard. And in this case, where I'm trying to randomize where the colors are, where, you know, the order of the cars, the number of a certain color of cars on one shelf, where I'm trying to randomize that, it's never going to feel random. It's always going to feel Like, oh yeah, there was one right next to that, or there's another shelf that looked like that one. And that's just because, your brain is only so good at being random. Even if you try to specifically say, oh, there's one like this and one like this, I'm going to do it different. Well, maybe that becomes too obvious. Maybe there should have been a repeat there and that would have looked random. But that's not how our brains are wired. We're not good at it. That's one of those things you hear Adam Savage talk a lot about on his channel when he's doing model making, and he's talking about his time at ILM. Says, you could always tell when there was a new model maker because their weathering looked planned. All right, we got two there. And you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm just going to put one right next to it. I'm going to put two right next to each other because I haven't done that yet. I don't think I've repeated two, one right after the other. So that's going to, at least that'll seem a little different, right? Yeah, because I've been a little bit under the weather, I did a terrible job at telling the world I was streaming. So I didn't bother tweeting out that I was streaming, didn't post on Blue Sky, didn't put it on Instagram, didn't do anything. So for those of you that did tune in, thanks for hanging out. Joey Nail says he's stuck in Tampa for another night. What on earth are you doing in Tampa? Joey Nails, world traveler, busy guy. Like, what could have possibly brought you to Tampa? All right, that looks pretty good. Wash that brush off. Oh, small weekend vacation in Tampa. What on earth is there to do in Tampa on a vacation? You have baffled me, Joey Nails. Joey Nails wants to know what I'm painting. Well, I'm glad you asked, because you and Bobby Gilbert and a number of others have given me so many of these Monster Jam minis. I 3D designed a special shelf just to hold them, and I've started painting my little shelves that go in them, the shelves where I've modeled crush cars. So they sit in their little slot right like that. Boom. It's perfect. Fit 4 or 5 of them across and do 3 rows of them. So that's what I'm working on now, trying to do justice to this little creation. This little collection that I didn't plan on having that just kind of happened. All right, let's see. I want to add a little more interest in these, and I think some red cars are going to be the answer. Let's see. What do we think about that opal? I think it's kind of maybe not doing it for me. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. Anyone in the chat, what are we thinking about this sort of opal color? Is that working or I don't know. I'm a little mixed on it. All right, but for now, we are going to do a little bit of some red. I actually got a pretty good idea here. Throw some of this red down. Nope, got to clean that top of that off there. Gross. It's all gunky. All right, we're going to put some red in there, and because that's pretty flat and pretty craft paint looking. I mean, a little bit of a ketchup vibe going on there. We got to add a little interest to that, and I think the way to do it is to grab that gross like pearl color that I'm not totally sold on. And I bet you combining those two is going to make something. Let's see what we get here. Oh, okay. All right. We're getting like a... Oh, wow. Actually, that is looking pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to show on both cameras, but it's definitely... The pearl is adding to that red. There's a depth of color there that I really like. Looking very cool. See, okay, Joey Nails says, I got those paints too. Meant to ask any tips. I do have some tips. The first is be ready to do multiple coats. You know, these paints are low end paints. If you get something like a Tamiya, like model paint, you know, those kinds of things are really like they're meant to grab plastic and stick. Like those are coverage paints. You know what I mean? Um, these though, you will often need multiple coats. Um, Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get away with one. But I would say, you know, be judicious with how much you use. Don't overdo it because it's pretty thick. And if you go on too thick with your paints, you lose a lot of your detail. So go in nice, slow, thin coats. You can always thin it down. It can thin with water or with isopropyl alcohol. In fact, when I airbrush, I use these paints and I thin them way down with a mix of isopropyl alcohol and water until they are about the consistency of milk, maybe even a little bit thinner. Um, and I have real great success with that. Sometime soon, I really should do a stream where I'm airbrushing. I just haven't had any projects yet that have called for it recently. I do have a lot of projects that are kind of like in the midst of occurring, so you know, there's a few there that definitely need it. All right, I do think that red is a good contrast, so we're gonna keep running with that. I'm going to set this one here. We're going to grab one of the ones we were already working on and throw like 2 red ones in here. See how we get on with that. Put one way at the end, maybe. Hang on, Joey Nails. Oh, there's a pro wrestling Warhammer type game I want to get. It could be fun for us to do painting stream together with the miniatures sometime. It's called Rumble Slam. That's a cool concept for a game. I've always thought there was something there for that, but you know, when I was at the age where I could have been drawn into such a thing, it didn't really exist, unfortunately. You know, that's the thing is like when I was right at the age when you get, you know, you discover that you really like D&D or you like Magic the Gathering or even Pokemon. Like none of that stuff really jumped out at me, so it was never my thing, which always shocks people because I'm exactly the type to have been into at least one of those things. I mean, I'm painting miniatures on a live stream. I mean, slow and over the plate. Am I right? Yeah. See, like I don't really play board games, much to my wife's chagrin. She really wishes I would, and I get it. Like it'd be really fun to play some games together. All right, let's. This stream where I'm sitting here painting has been a nice physical break for me because I was so whew, after cardio because I'm coming off of this cold. I was suffering, but I'm feeling a lot better now. In fact, after I get the red on a few of these shelves, I'm gonna take another swig on that Powerade. Start feeling real good because, been a long week. Now, again, if you're watching this and thinking that I'm doing kind of a bit of a messy job, yeah, I'm aware. The reason I'm totally okay doing a bit of a messy job on this is because these are supposed to look like they're from the junkyard, and they will mostly be covered by trucks that are displayed on them. All right, that looks pretty good on that one. I'm actually going to not just set that aside. I'm going to take it all the way over and hang it in front of. I've got a space heater pointed at my drying rack, so I'm going to hang that up and let it air dry a little bit. There we go. That'll be good and dry by the time I need it again. All right. So I like just one red on this one. We're going to leave that, and I'm going to add like one red here and maybe one on. I've still got these two blanks I haven't started on yet. We're just going to go right in the end here next to this teal. Yeah, the red is really nice coverage. I probably won't need a second coat with this. And in fact, a lot of these, as they're drying, don't look like they need much of a second coat. But again, I planned for that. Printing in this gunmetal color means that I have sort of a metallic sheen already built in underneath the paint. So if the paint's a little bit transparent and we see it poking through, it's just going to look like scraped up metal, which is perfect for little crush cars. You know, again, this is knowing your materials. You can really start to plan your builds out ahead of time. All right. Yeah, and I think just the one on there is good. So that was there, and let's get like two on this one. Just because I do really like this red. I think it's working real good for me. See, Joey Nail says, how did the Nomi streams go? Streaming kind of randomly last week. Yeah, streaming randomly. I was under the weather, got a lot going on. So I had initially decided to just cancel the streams, and then I had some work to do. So I figured, you know what? If I'm going to be in the workshop anyway, working at the old workbench, might as well just turn the camera on. And I may end up doing that a little bit this week as well, as I do have some cleanup left to do on those gnome figures. You know, the nice part about resin printing is that, you know, you don't have to do a ton of cleanup, and I really don't. Like, it's very minimal what I need to do on those to make them look good. And in fact, I could probably skip it entirely, but I pride myself on putting out something really good, so I want to take extra care to make sure that they look as good as they can. And you know, it's Gabby. Who doesn't want to? If you're making something for Gabby, make it right. You know, she's a good kid. Plus, you know, it's again, even the amount of cleanup I have to do is not that much, but she does have kind of a large order of figures. So not that much times the number of figures that I printed ends up being a fair bit of work. But it is my day job, so. Yeah, I agree, Joey. Gabby's truly one of the good ones. Gabby and Bear are two of the best folks. All right, let that dry a little bit. We're gonna wash that red off of there. I know what you're saying. Can't ignore the Instagram chat. So I keep, for those watching on Twitch, you see me keep looking over at the phone here, trying to make sure I hit both. Yeah, they are. They're super genuine people. They're really great. You know, I've known Bear since, gosh, you know, some of his very first matches. He was coming out to the Western Mass area with the Shook crew, riding out with them. And yeah, he's always been one of the good ones. All right, so I just blopped some blue in with that same cool red I was just working with, in the hopes that we end up with some kind of, hoping for like a kind of light purple color, but we'll see. see what we end up with here, because I want something that's different from that red we have, but also different from any of the blues we've used. Well, let's see. Mixing on the brush, letting it be a little bit messy. Yeah, you know what? That's going to work. That's going to work, because I think if we put that right next to the red we were just doing, we'll see a marked difference there. Let's see here. In fact, we're going to put it right next to it. Yeah, you know what? It does read different, but actually, you know what? Once that dries, that's going to look way different. At first, I wasn't sold, but now I can really see. I don't know how it's reading on camera, but in person, it's a very different shade. So I'm into that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting up to Limitless on Saturday. It'll be nice to spend the day doing something other than snow blowing the driveway. SWM Snow. Hey, thanks. I'm pretty pleased with how these are coming along. These little displays for Monster Jam Minis for those just tuning in. Making a cool little shelving display to go up on the wall. And because I'm a completionist, I got to paint them all up individually and try to make them all look cool. Joey says he's doing the Dijack seminar. There's a Dijack seminar? That's cool. Perry, I got more bookings. Okay, you got March and April bookings. Wow, where at, Joey Nails? Tell us about it. Let's hear it. All right, let's grab this one. Throw some of this. I called it purple, but it's really more of a maroon. Put it way on the end here. Yeah, definitely kind of a purple maroon color. I wouldn't call it like it's definitely not like a UMass maroon, but maroon nonetheless. Turner is investing in the nail man. Hey, Mike Turner, man, that guy should be making whoopie pies all the time. Mike Turner runs some shows up in Maine. For those that don't know, I've worked for him a number of times. I've had nothing but good experiences working for him. But the last time I was up there, he was running the concessions for Let's Wrestle, and he had made some whoopie pies. And at the end of the night, he was giving out the ones he didn't sell to the wrestlers. And I took one of those things home in the car ride, and it did not make it all the way home. It was a blueberry whoopie pie, and it was amazing. Mind blowing. In fact, I messaged him during the drive home, and I said, hey, man, I don't know what you're doing promoting pro wrestling. You should be selling whoopie pies full time, because this is amazing. And I stand by it. Johnny Torres was sick of hearing about that damn whoopie pie by the time we got home. But it did take us like 9 hours to drive home because it was through a blizzard. I'm so sick of snowstorms. Although it's getting me views, getting me crazy views. Those of you on TikTok, check out my latest snow blowing time lapse. Just crossed 90,000 views. I posted it yesterday afternoon. Yeah, I like that. That's looking good. Just a couple of maroon ones snuck in here. All right, all right. That's looking pretty good. I like that. All right, I'm going to set that maroon aside. Yeah, man. Look, guys, TikTok is a weird place. I don't ever know what's gonna work there, what's not gonna work. Wow, that pearl. I don't know if this is gonna show. Yeah, on the Instagram camera, it's showing that pearl paint mixed into my cleanup water is giving me some wild, like, yeah, it's showing on both cameras, some wild glitter swirls. Look at that, man, crazy. Perry, the snowblowing influencer. Yeah, if I can get a sponsorship via Mike Turner's whoopie pies, that would be great. I'll make all the snowblowing content and talk about how his whoopie pies are freaking amazing because they're so good. All right. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna get a little weird here. We're gonna go with just a flat yellow. No metallic mixed in, no nothing. Just a flat, like, ugly ass canary yellow. Because back in the 80s, certain cars were just ugly for no reason. Joey Nail says I used to be a D-list TikTok celebrity. If you say so. I mean, all TikTok celebrities are D-list celebrities because outside of TikTok, they're not famous. And if they are, they were famous before they got to TikTok. Grab this one shelf that I've had over here. Oh, yeah. All right. So as they're drying up here, they're looking real nice. I might have to take a couple of these and hang them up over there to dry while we work on the others. But these are coming along. Very pleased with that. All right. Quick hydration break. You shouldn't have been in any community in 2021, Joey Nails. You were underage. Frankly, you're underage now. All right, grabbing this yellow. I think the yellow is going to need to be one that we use a little sparing because it's a little. Well, I guess if you do a thin coat, it's not so jarring because that gunmetal of the PLA still kind of sticks through. Yeah, probably okay. So let's see. We got a few. We got a few of the regulars active in the old Twitch chat right now. So I'm going to put it to you guys. I'm planning to stream down here in the workshop again tomorrow, and I can do one of two things on the workshop stream. I can either sit here doing some more work on the gnomes. I'm just going to be sanding and cleaning them, so some just very low level 3D print cleanup, or tomorrow we can do a full series review of my favorite toy series of all time, the Matchbox Superchargers from 1986. I have the full collection upstairs. I can bring it down to the workbench and show them off tomorrow. I just want to know what we prefer. What do we prefer on that one? All right, let's throw this yellow one about here. I see Myung Jae Lee in the Instagram live. My son, my wrestling son. Very proud of him. He's doing great stuff. I see. I keep an eye on you. I know what you're up to, buddy. Anytime I have ice cream, I think about my son, Myung Jae Lee. All right, that's going to be the one yellow for that one. See, Bobby Gilbert votes for the Superchargers. Joey Nails votes for the Nomi figures. Boy, that's a tie. That's tough. Nikki says, I'd love to see the gnome sanding. That's two for gnomes. I'm keeping an eye out. Rye could vote. I think Graves was in the chat a little bit. There's a few different folks that could potentially vote here. Herobotic might come in. I might even put it on a poll tomorrow online. Let's see. Let's put this one way at the end here. Put a nice bright car right at the very end of the row. 'Cause, 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 All right, that one looks pretty good. And let's get a couple onto this one here. I think we'll put 2 on this one, because why not? Yeah, let's go like here and here. Myung Jae says, I feel like I shouldn't have a say, but the gnomes sound awesome. They are going to be awesome. I'm real excited. I've been 3D printing these up for Gabby, and I just got some minor cleanup to do, some little artifacts from the printing. You can sort of see some rough spots on the finish. I just do a little bit of scraping with an X-Acto blade and sanding, and the feet need to be sanded flat so that they stand upright. But yeah, I'm real excited to get those to Gabby. She and I started talking about that project quite some time ago. Rye votes for whatever will bring me the most joy. Um, well, I'll see. I may stream the gnomes like midday and maybe do the superchargers at night if I'm feeling froggy enough to do 2 streams in a day. I also feel like with the toy line review, I need to prepare some notes because that's gonna end up when it's on my YouTube. That's gonna be like one of the quintessential pieces of Perry lore. Because boy, if those toys didn't end up shaping a big part of my adult life, because they're what I based all the Perry monster truck toys on very closely. And in fact, when you hold them next to the Perry monster trucks, it's real clear that I straight up ripped the design off on purpose. I mean, we say homage, right? That's the term, but I mean it's their design. Um, and I mean, obviously, my entire persona of the human monster truck. Without those toys, I think my interest in monster trucks probably would have waned a little bit when I was real little because there wasn't that much media of them to consume. At the time that those toys came out, when I was 2 years old, there had been 2 televised monster trucks events, full stop, only 2. Battle of the Monster Trucks and Return of the Monster Trucks. Return of the Monster Trucks being the first ever monster truck racing that had been televised. All right, that looks good. All right, feel good about those. Going to give the yellow a bit of a break there, unless maybe we'll mix up like some like random like green. We'll throw some green cars in here. I'm really just trying to have randomness in the colors that I throw on these because I want it to look like pilfering a junkyard. Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep that yellow out here. We're going to mix, take maybe some of this teal color, mix that in. We worked with it a little bit earlier, but we'll see. I don't think it'll take much. I don't want to go too dark. I can always add more, but it's hard to take away. All right, and just mixing in the cup and on the brush. Oh yeah, that's going to be an ugly green. That's a junkyard green. That's that, my mom always called us baby shit green. Oh shit, the Grizz Crew's raiding over on Twitch. Welcome, guys. Good to see ya. Joey Nail says his goal is to have more matches than me in 2025. Well, I'm not going to say what I know I have coming up, but I will say that could be very difficult for you. But also, more matches is not always. I mean, I guess when you're new, that's a great goal. When you've been around a while, it's about quality of matches. Yeah, pea soup green. It is. I mean, I definitely get the baby shit green line. All right, we'll throw one in here. We'll go like, yeah, right here, right next to. Ew. Is that showing? Yeah, yeah. Okay, I want to make sure that it's reading different from the yellow. Ugh. It's sort of a Toxic Avenger green. And again, if I was more into the look of modern monster truck shows, I could be a lot more lazy here, because I could just do one whole shelf white, the next whole shelf red, the next whole shelf blue, and or like yellow. And those are sort of the colors that they use for like the different lanes at Monster Jam, but they always make all the cars in the single lane the same color. They just hit them with a big spray can. So I could do it that way, but really not my style. I like the throwback. I like it to look weird and random and cheap and underproduced. Let's make this one the one all the way on the end. I always like the way the paint kind of you can really make out what that car is supposed to look like. But that's the fun part about painting these things is when you start to lay color to them, because when you're doing the 3D design, everything's basically just one color. And then when you print it, at least with a printer like mine that only does single color printing, it's all one color. So all you're getting is the shape. A lot of the detail, your eye doesn't grab onto it the same way. But once you add those colors, once you start differentiating from between objects, between parts of an object, once you start to see some of the texture come through because you've added color to it, that's when it stops being a shape, a design, a little clump of whatever, and it becomes the object. It's a really cool moment. See, Bobby says I made a swear twice. I mean, look, I want to take your word for that. I've not been keeping track of my swears. I do think I want to go a little bit darker on this green on the next couple. So I'm going to set the brush aside, and we're just going to add just a bit of this darker, this cobalt blue, and just see where that gets us. Grizz says it's been an insane week. I hope it's good insane. I mean, it's only Monday. It's been an insane week and it's only Monday. We might have some worries. What were you just streaming over on your channel, Grizz? Actually, it has been kind of a crazy week. We had, Blitz was canceled on Saturday for the storm. Apparently, I'm a snowblowing influencer over on TikTok. It's been a crazy week. Last week was also crazy. HCTP mod. Wait, HCTP. You're going to have to actually spell that out for me. My gaming knowledge is not as deep as it ought to be. Now, did that get as dark as I want? Yeah, actually, there's a fair difference there. You can kind of see the streaks in there. I just want to keep everything looking a little bit different, a little variance between pieces. Oh, WWE Here Comes the Pain. They do mods for Here Comes the Pain? Yo, that's crazy. When you're done with your streams, do you ever download them and upload them onto YouTube? Because I'd hop over there and give you some views. I want to see this mod. Otherwise, I might have to go try to catch the replay on your Twitch. Because that sounds pretty cool. All right, there we go. Yeah, some good variation there. Happy with that. Okay, you know what? That pearl color, I am coming around on it as it's dried. I think it really stands out. So I may have to sneak a couple more of those in here because I actually think that's pretty good. Okay, you multi-stream. Nice, cool. Yeah, I'll 100% check that out. I always prefer to give people the view count on YouTube just because it's so much more permanent. But yeah, shoot me a link because I want to see what that's about. I've seen a lot of mods for No Mercy, but I've never seen a Here Comes the Pain mod. That's pretty cool. Right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these are coming out. Because again, them being a little bit messy is okay. These are supposed to look like they're from the junkyard. All right. I do have one shelf I've put no paint on yet, and that is driving me a little bit crazy. I keep looking over at it and thinking about it. All right, let's go way down the far end with this, because this is a different green than that other one on here. Otherwise, I wouldn't repeat. And in a minute, I'm going to sit back and look at these and try to feel out what colors feel like they're missing. Then we're going to come back and try to stick a couple cars in whatever color we feel is missing the most. Okay, that's looking good. So got that one, that one, that. Okay, that's a little green on all of them. Bobby says, I'd love to multi-stream once I start streaming again. I warn you, we can be raunchy at times on our stream. That's fine. It really, I don't have to go to a day job to see any bosses and have them yell at me for what's on my computer, so I can play whatever I want. All right, and let's stick a green like dead center here. Let's just, this one, it's going to be right in the middle. Now, I was debating whether I would give these a clear coat, mostly because the Monster Jam Minis will be sitting on them for prolonged periods of time, and I don't want, like, paint to sort of, I don't want any off-gassing to cause anything to stick or, like, get discolored. But Monster Jam Minis have hard plastic tires, so I think we're going to be okay. It's not like the rubber tires you get on, like, traditional 1/64th scale monster trucks. All right, I'm going to set our baby shit green aside here. I'm allowed to say that swear word, Bobby Gilbert. An S swear is okay. You're allowed to say any swear words if it's from something that your own mother said. And referring to a color as baby shit green is one that she did all the time. All right. All right, so I'm back to that pearl. I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, we're still good. I am going to throw a couple more pearl ones in here because I do like how it ended up drying on that one. Oh, Grizz has ads. Well, no ads on my Instagram live. You can just go watch that one. Not that I want to drive anyone away from Twitch. Danhausen is a little flexible on his swear rules. Also, I'm not on Danhausen's network. I can say any swears I want. But I believe he said that S swears are okay. He says finger swears are okay, so why wouldn't an S swear be okay? All right, we got a pearl one there. All right, I'm going to take these two and go hang them in front of the heater just to let them cure up a little bit. All right, Grizz is back. Good, good. All right, we're throwing that pearl color onto just a few more of these. I was not sure about it when I first used it because it was so, like, seemed kind of translucent. But it's grown on me as it dried on that other one. So I think this is actually pretty cool, the way that it's a little metallic, a little swirly, a little glittery. One car that looks different from the rest I think is cool. Not going to put it on every shelf. but these ones will be okay. Bobby Gilbert says, I want to get a gaming laptop so I can legally play old PS2 games. I mean, you could just get a PS2, play them legally that way. Oh, Grizz says last week their motherboard got fried, so they had to rebuild, and that's why they didn't stream. Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't stream. I mean, I kind of streamed. I streamed at odd times during the day last week, but I didn't have my usual streams last week either. I've been kind of getting over a little bit of a cold and some stuff going on, just life stuff. You know how it is. All right, and let's make this one kind of pearl here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Set that one aside. Set pearl aside. Yeah, for the Grizz crew that rolled in because they got here a little late, I'll show you what I'm working on. I 3D modeled up these shelves that have some little inlets on the side for these special display shelves that I made that have crush cars molded into them. And then it just sits in like that, and they are for the Monster Jam minis that I've been gifted by a bunch of different fans. So I'll be able to display some, depending on how many I squeeze onto each shelf, it'll be 4 or 5 across. And so I'll be able to display somewhere between 12 and 15 of these per box. And there are quite a few of them. I've got these bags piled up here that have been gifted to me. So yeah, needed somewhere for those to go. All right, let's see here. I'm going to take that teal from before and just make it super dark with blue, and we're just going to, because I've not done any blue cars on any of these, so we should get one, at least one per row, maybe a couple on that one that doesn't have much on it. Again, I'm trying to keep the colors fairly random, and it's hard. It's hard because that's not how the human brain works. Human brains are not good at faking random. Trying to show both cameras the mixing process here. A little bit of some swirly kind of opal teal mixed into that blue, and that's okay. Ugly colors are good here because this is supposed to look like junkyard stuff. So I'm actually going to put 2 blues right next to each other here. I've not done a whole lot of like 2 of the same color next to each other on these shelves, so I think I can afford to do one here. Yeah, I got to figure out exactly what I did in the algorithm over on TikTok to make that one video blow up. Got to figure out how I did that. Literally just a time lapse of me snow blowing my driveway. I've posted them before, like they do okay, but the one I just posted, I haven't looked at it since I started the stream. It was still climbing fast. It's probably crossed 100,000 views already. Grizz says patience is key. I agree. I think you're absolutely right. All right. That one's looking good. Set that here. We'll toss a blue one onto this one. And you'll see on these, like some of them, this one has black, this one has none that are black. That one has a pearl. This one doesn't have any. So I'm trying to keep it, so that they all look a little different. I don't want them to look too similar. It's like a stealth game. Yeah. I think you're right. All right, we're gonna make the one on the end blue here. I was bummed that Blitzkrieg got canceled this weekend, but uh, I had a bad feeling about the weather anyway. So when they announced it, I was a little bit relieved because I just knew getting back was going to be undesirable. It was not going to be anything we were all looking forward to. All right. Yeah. I agree. Certainly it was the right call canceling the show for the safety of traveling talent and fans. That's the other thing. It's not just the talent that have to get out to these shows. We were going to have fans making that drive too, and that's dangerous. And pro wrestling's great. Pro wrestling's wonderful. I've spent my entire adult life doing it. It's not important enough to risk any more safety than we already do to make it happen. I guess is maybe how I should. I was going to say it's not worth risking your safety, but it's literally what we do. So, but within reason, we're taking a calculated risk. When you're out on the road, that's not a calculated risk. That's just a risk. There's no knowing what's going on around you. You don't know what the conditions will be. You don't know what the other drivers will do. You don't know what your car will do. All right. So that's good on the blues on there. I think I'm going to switch these over onto the drying rack and bring the other ones back and try to round them out. One thing that's nice about these acrylic paints is they do dry really fast. So when I hang them on my little rack in front of a space heater, that's kind of all it takes. Well, I hope everyone's been having a nice time celebrating Residence Day. That's the day where we all listen to the bizarre novelty band The Residents. Because I certainly wouldn't celebrate this day for the other reason. Not this year, or the next three. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to throw a blue onto one of these. Probably this one. And then we'll pick a different color and round these out, because these are about done. Let's go right here. Why not? Don't overthink it. When you overthink it, that's when you spoil the random effect, right? All right, Grizz. Thanks for popping in, my friend. All right. I think that's good. Set our blue aside. You know what? I threatened that we were going to make at least one of these cars like white. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to mix it in with the pearl so there's a little bit of sheen to it. I am really excited. I don't have them here yet, but they've been shipped. For those who are not familiar, there is a truck called the Texas Toot. It is a Japanese mini truck, one of the K trucks, that's been lifted and altered into like a mud running sort of mega truck crossed with a monster truck thing. It's really cool, and it combines my love of tiny trucks with my love of monster trucks. And apparently, they're aware of me. I got a message from them the other day. They had their own Hot Wheels vehicle made by Hot Wheels. They were contacted by Hot Wheels, and they have their own toy. They had one that came out last year, and they have some more variants coming out. Yeah, the mod scene for K Trucks is so sick. But they contacted me and said, oh, we'd like to send you one of our toys because we like your weird toys and we like your Volkswagen. They like my actual truck. And then they said, but we don't have any. We'll have someone from Mattel get a hold of you. So a little while later, I got an email from the folks at Hot Wheels letting me know that they needed my address so they could send me, quote, a few things. Now, I only know of the one toy for them. I believe there's other variants that are coming that have not been released yet. But it sounds like they're sending me multiple toys. So I've been given 2 tracking numbers for 2 different packages, and I'm excited for when those come. I can't wait to show them off on the stream. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was just maybe 2 days ago. I guess it would have been Friday. Friday they got a hold of me and asked if I'd like some of the toys. They said, review them on the channel or just share a picture of them. We think it would be cool. I love that they're aware of who I am and what I do. That's kind of neat, unexpected. Yeah, the white one here looks cool. I think that's especially with the little bit of that pearl mixed in, it's got a good little sheen to it. All right, set that to the side. Let's see, I'm going to look at my other one. What's missing? What colors have I not hit that were on this other one? I guess it's actually kind of looking okay. Yeah, mixing in a white here is going to make this noticeably different. Yeah, in fact, even this one that I had deemed finish, I'm going to throw a white one on here just to mix it up a bit. Let's call it the one on the very end. That looks good. And we'll throw one on here as well. I just don't want to leave any as plain gunmetal. I just want a little bit of color on everything. This one, in fact, I'm going to purposely make it a really light white with a bunch of little bits of it sticking through so it looks really crappy. Again, junkyard aesthetic. You want it to look a little bit crappy. Maybe I'm only hitting the high points and letting that gunmetal kind of stay. There's a little bit more variance there. In fact, I'm even going to wipe it back off just a little. Pull it back. It's a weathering technique. Just so it looks all scraped up. Yeah, I'm into that. That looks cool. All right. Let's get a look here. This has one left to be painted, and then it's done. This one, these are silver. Yeah, I think we're going to call that one done. This one has one left that's gunmetal, and I think we need to put color on that. What colors have I not really... You know what? I haven't done anything that's like an orange yet. I'm going to break out... We're going to do a little bit of some orange here. In fact, Do I have anything I can turn into that? There's like a white, but I want to leave that. Yeah, we'll grab a fresh cup and mix up a little bit of orange. I have this, what is this? Apricot, depending on who you are. Always mix your paints, kid. Always. They sit on that shelf, they separate out a little bit. All right. Yeah, that is a real different color from what's already in there, but I'm going to add just a little bit of our, we sort of mixed a little bit of some dark maroon in here. So let's get this brush cleared off here. Again, the nice part about working with acrylics, you can clear it off with water. Just want to get the brush dried out a bit before you dive into the paints, otherwise you thin things out a little more than you might want. The truck is called Texas Toot. Texas Toot. If they have a great Instagram page. All right, so I'm literally just taking a brush's worth of our like maroon here, and I'm going to mix it in to our yellow. Just let it kind of mess it up a little bit. I might even leave it a little streaky, not mix it completely. Yeah, that's pretty good. We're gonna slap that to this last bear car in this one. Yeah, nice contrast there. Looks markedly different from all the others. Yeah, I'm into that. That's good. Now I could have gone to the trouble of like pulling up a bunch of reference images of like old monster truck shows and seen like, oh, what color were cars typically then? Like what were the common colors you would see, and do it that way. But you know, this is a shelf that's just for me. You know, if I was doing this, if this was a client order, let's say Bobby Gilbert wants to buy some of these shelves because he collects Monster Jam minis. You know, if that's the case, I'd ask him, you know, do you want it to look like modern Monster Jam? Do you want it to look like the 80s? Do you want it to look like the 90s? And then I could go and look up some reference images and sort of see like, what are the color combos that are going to give me that feeling? All right, and right here I'm just pulling off some of the thick bits of paint there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. That'll be ready to go in front of the heater in a minute. We'll do the same thing here. I'm going to hit that one last unpainted one with some of this orange here. Again, doing it in a very thin coat because I want all that ugly, gnarly texture that's honestly just artifacting from the 3D print. I want that to show through because it makes the car look banged up. And you know, this is a car that's been crushed a few times. So why not? Oh, Bobby Gilbert says he needs the crush cars. Hey, I can print rows of crush cars in scale for 1/64th monster trucks. I can absolutely do that. They can be painted. They can be plain color. You know, whatever you like. We can talk about that. We can talk pricing for such a thing because it would not be terribly expensive. I think I'm gonna throw. I said this one was done. I'm gonna throw an orange on here too, just to break it up a little bit. I think it's gonna be this guy. I'm going real light because this one's already got some silver on it. And if I let some of that silver come through, it looks like places where the paint's chipped away back to bare metal, which is a pretty cool little weathering technique that I've learned. Is if you let some silver poke through, you slap a little silver on some high spots, it'll end up looking like scraped metal. All right, so we're going to call those 3 done. I'm going to keep my orange out here because I'm going to use it again in a sec. And now I'm going to swap these so that they're hanging up in the heater and the others are here. Yeah, this one's got a long ways to go. That one's pretty close. And that one's pretty close. And these are finished. All right. Those are looking good. All right. So first, let's stick with the orange since it's already on the brush. Put it right next to one of our ugly greens. All right, that looks good. And I'm actually gonna, tough call here. I think I'm gonna maybe make both of those orange. No, I'm just gonna make one of them orange. We'll pick another color for the other one. Go right on the end here. Trying to save money so I can have a true rival to Jangles me. Is it going to be your much awaited Bobby figure? Right, that looks good. And on this one, we'll do 2 different ones on here, orange. Set them apart from each other. We'll go like on either end of these, I think. All right, good. One more in the orange. All right, there's our oranges on that one. Set that aside and clean this off. And now I can look at these and figure out what colors do I feel like I haven't quite got enough of. I almost feel like there could be a pink in here. I haven't done any in like a pink yet. And that feels a little lacking. So let's grab the red, and we've got our white, kind of the pearl white going on here. And I'm just going to put like the littlest bit of red. We're going to creep up on the color because I know that when you're using reds and pinks, reds to make pinks, it can get dark real fast. So we're just literally just going to do like a drop. Bloop. All right, and let's see what we come up with there. Yeah, that's some good pink. That's going to take a little bit of mixing to get it, all the streaks out of there. Oh yeah, that's like Pepto-Bismol, baby. Drink that, make your tummy feel better. You know what? Speaking of hydration, you know, I may get my lifting in tonight after all. I'm feeling better as the stream's gone on here. I wasn't too sure earlier. I thought I might have to call it after the cardio kicked my butt coming off this cold, but feeling pretty good now. All right. Let's grab a pink one right on the end here. Oh yeah, that's like beat up old Cadillac pink. Yeah. Oh, I'm pleased with that. That is some ugly. That's the good stuff. You want that ugly. Junkyard ugly, baby. Speaking of ugly, those on Twitch, you can see my face. Thinking about trimming my beard way down. What do we think? What do we think? Is it looking good the way it is? Is it a mess? Does it need cleaning? What are we thinking? Those on Instagram will have to use your imagination. All right, nice ugly pink right on the end there. Let's see. We're gonna make one of these pink as well. Bobby Gilbert says don't shave. Well, I certainly wouldn't shave it all off. Nikki says, don't you dare. Again, I'm not talking about shaving it all off. I'm talking about trimming it down or cleaning it up. I don't know. I cleaned it up a couple weeks ago, and I feel like it's not really... I don't know how much better it is. I don't know if it's been an improvement or if I might have made it worse. There we go. And that one's done. I can go put that in front of the heater. I'll be right back. Hey, Superstar ML, welcome, my friend. Yeah, doing a little building for a display for some Monster Jam minis. Hang this one in front of the heater here. Bring one of these dry ones back. And I can actually show you there. It's a Superstar ML, for those that don't know, that's Michael Labby. Maine wrestling historian and monster truck aficionado. So I made these little shelf cases with these little crush car shelves that just fit right into them. And then these Monster Jam minis that have been gifted to me by so many fans are scaled to go right on top of them so I can have all my trucks on display. Something I've been working on. There's even there's a little channel inside of here, goes all the way around, so I can have a little sheet of plexiglass go in on the front, keep everything dust free. Pretty pleased with that. Let's see, yeah, this is looking dry. Good. I can keep that one here. We're gonna keep going. Yeah, you know what? I've been trying to piece together what this pink really looks like to me. It's the Simpsons car pink. That's what I've created there. Yeah, I'm pleased with how it's going. I think this is a great thing here. Bobby Gilbert says, thinking about making you a Wikipedia page. Yeah, I mean, hey, if everybody feels that I'm important enough to warrant such a thing, you should probably collaborate with Michael Labby, who's over in the Instagram chat. He is a Maine wrestling historian, and I've had a fair bit of my wrestling career occur in the great state of Maine. So he knows a great deal of what I've been up to the last few years. He's been present for a fair number of those matches. And he, like so many of us, is a huge monster truck guy. In fact, there are parts of my collection that I have because of him, gifts that came directly from Michael Labby. Some of my 8x10s, some of my Monster Truck Hero cards that are up on in the gym were gifts from Michael Labby. He's doing some important work for us indie wrestlers, because chronicling what we do is something that is not always taken care of in a way that really is worth thinking about. But he does the work really well for us. All right, we're gonna give us one more of these right here, one pink one right in the middle. I really am. I'm drawn to the car that's shaped most like the Simpsons car, and I think it's because of this color. So there you go. That's proof. The human brain doesn't like to do things at random. It's terrible at recreating random. It will always find a pattern, even if you're unaware of it. Because until I said it out loud, I hadn't realized it, and I look back over the ones I've painted now, and almost exclusively I've painted the Simpsons-looking car pink. So there you go. And if you see some of these little bits of paint that are getting on the wrong car, I'm okay with that, because when these things would have been loaded into the show using a forklift or a front end loader, they did not take a great deal of care in what they were doing, and paint would have scraped from car to car. So, let's see. Oh, cool. Over on Twitch, I have a bot telling me how to get cheap viewers. Cool. Thanks, bro. Bobby Gilbert says, it's going to make you sound like a North Korean leader. Good Lord. I taught English in South Korea. Not really the same thing, I suppose. Exactly. Michael Labby says, paint transfer is natural. I agree. It's also the reason I'm not being too precious about how I paint these, because I printed them in this gunmetal PLA. So if there's little scrapes where the paint doesn't cover completely, it just looks like the paint was scraped off the bare metal of the car. And that was actually something I planned on. That was thought out ahead of time. I'm very pleased with the fact that that's kind of held up in the execution here. All right, I'm going to hang this one back up in front of the heater here. All right. We just got to finish these. I got 4 more little cars in here that need to be painted. And then we can start looking at doing some assembly. We just got to figure out what colors we haven't really hit here. This we could probably go with like a red in here somewhere, and this one, I'm thinking almost like we could do, I don't know, that one's a tough one. Maybe like a dark green. You know what? We should do some dark greens. We haven't done any in a dark green. All right, pull out a fresh cup here. Nikki says, I painted the 3 seashells above my toilet gunmetal gray. I love that combination of using a color like gunmetal to paint like objects from nature. I think that's like super cool. All right, going with some sort of forest green here, and I think we're going to mix some silver into this to try to make it look metallic. We're not going to need much. Only got a few cars to color still. And where's our silver? There it is, right? Yeah. Let's get a bit of this silver in here. I'm going a little heavy with the silver because it's a pretty bright silver, so I don't think it'll make it too dark. Get both cameras a bit of a view here. Yeah, this is going to be a nice metallic green. That's a good ratio. Oh, I'm happy with that. That's coming out real nice. Get a little of the sheen in there. Yeah, that's going to work. Kind of wish I'd done this sooner. This is a really good color. All right, we're going to put on here first because this will finish out this row. Yeah, markedly different from all the other colors. That's what I'm going for. I just want it to stand out from the others. I'm real happy with that. And for those watching, this is sort of a learning process for me since I'm doing this just for me. You know, I don't mind if some of it looks a little weird and some of it looks a little wonky, but it's given me a chance to play with these paints a bit more. And especially with this project, I can see how it looks on these so that in the future, when I have some folks who collect these minis in the collectors groups online that want a pair of shelves like these, I can make them for them. See, Michael Laby says, my ex-wife had a 2002 Pontiac Sunfire that was holo metallic green. Wow. So I'm sort of doing it a bit of a tribute here, I guess. All right, I'm going to hang this in front of the heater over there so it can start to dry. Because I would like to have these up and displayed before we're done here. All right, this one is looking dry. Love that. This one's also looking dry. So I can set those there. Rather, I can set those there. And here I have 3 left that need some color. We're going to do 2 on here in the green. I think we'll do the one right on the very end and probably the one way down the other end. Maybe even the one close. I don't know. We'll see. This is the very Bob Ross part of this process. You can pick whichever cars to be whichever color you want. It's your 1980s monster truck rally. You can make it look however you want. Had one little piece of support material stuck on there. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the one way down here, right next to the one I just did. Now, of course, if I wanted to be real exacting on this, I could go to the cars on the very ends where you can sort of see their little tires, and I could paint those black. I'm not going to bother. You're not ever going to see them on the shelf. I could come back through and I could paint like the hood of a car a different color, make it look like it had a replacement part. You know, I could come back with a silver Sharpie, silver paint pen, and just hit some edges to make it look like paint scraped off. You know, we could weather the whole thing with a little mud wash and make it look like it had been through the races. But I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna overthink it too much. These are meant to display something else. These are meant to, make the toys that I have stand out, not for the shelves to stand out. And there's an important difference there. All right, we need one more color to go here. I think I'm going to use the ugly maroon that we mixed up. Yeah, I'm going to bring the maroon back out onto the field here, see how we like that. Boy, yeah, it's getting harder to get quite all the color out of these. But that's okay. These are junk cars. A messy brush might actually be a plus. All right, we're going to take this maroon. We're going to come, yeah. That's going to be the last one of these little cars we have to paint here. I'm really glad to have this project off my mind. It's been sitting here not painted and unassembled for a few weeks. And my collection of Monster Jam minis have been sitting in those Ziploc bags for a few months. So pretty excited to have this complete. And I've also had bits and pieces of the video on this project, so I'm going to make a short form video for YouTube. A little 10-minute explainer video on how I did it, where I did the design on a stream and everything else. I'm going to finally be able to finish that. All right, so we can put that there. I'm going to take all these paint cups, get them out of here. Make sure all my caps are on good. Throw these back in their drawers where they belong. These wonderful paint drawers that my wife was so kind to put together for me while I was in Japan. All right, Michael, thank you so much for hanging out, man. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll have finished pictures up, I'm sure, so you'll see it when it's all done. All right, let's white goes there, black goes there. Got silver over here and yellow. Yeah, there we go. Everything's organized again. All right, and these cups can go away. This can go away. This needs to hang to dry for a few minutes, and I'll grab the dry ones while I'm there. I am exceedingly happy with the variety that we have here. None of them really look all that much alike between them. All right, so set those cars out of the way. And now we're going to move into doing something pretty cool that we've not done on the stream before. Frankly, it's something I've not done before, but I'm excited to try it out for the first time. I have acrylic sheets. These are just a 4-pack of cheap clear acrylic. These are, what is the ml on these? These are they're 8x10. I don't even have the width marked on here. But we are going to cut these because these can be cut with an X-Acto blade. Nice and easy. They can just be scored, and then you can sort of bend them, and they will break where you need them. So we're going to get all this packaging off here, get them measured out, and we're going to have our 2 little cover plates for these. And before the end of the night, I might be able to actually put my Monster Jam minis on the wall. Wouldn't that be nice? All right. Set that out of the way. Get that off of here. And there we go. There's our. It's got the protective film on here, which is nice. We can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to grab a metal ruler because that is really important for getting a good score line. All right. So first things first is I need a width here. And thankfully, my ruler is labeled, so I can get the number I need right here. That's going to be 43 centimeters. So I'm going to mark it at 43 centimeters. Move the monsters out of the way here. Nikki says, uh-oh, did I break it? No, we're still alive. We're still alive. Everything's good. Everything's good. Okay, 43 centimeters is going to be right there. Just put a little mark in there. And I need, oh, you know what? I need my square. That's what I need. There it is. All right. And this is also a Dollar Tree item. Nice square, well labeled, and all metal, which is very important for making these cuts. Let's see, I want to probably use this side. Where's my little mark I just put on there? I should be able to just see it, right? That's the trouble with making a mark with one of these. I'm going to have to do it over and do it with a marker or something. All right, please hold. Yeah, that's going to be what I need. All right, so we wanted 43 centimeters. Sure enough, now I can see the little mark on here. There we go. Now we're gonna make our score. The trick with this, of course, is that you don't want to worry about going all the way through on the first pass. You know, you want to make a bunch of light passes, scoring right against your metal ruler, using steady and firm pressure. Every pass will go through just a little bit more than the one before it. And then, like magic, you should be able to just bend and snap. I might need to score it a little bit more than that. We'll see. Yeah, it's starting to go, but not quite all the way through. We're going to get back on and score it a little bit more. Okay, where's our find our line again? There it is. We're just going to keep making successive passes through here. Oh yeah, that's gonna get us what we want. I'm actually gonna use the edge of the table. Haha, so nice. Yeah, look at that. That's what you want. Cool. All right. Just gonna pull that piece off of there. There we go. Oh, nice clean edge on that. Lovely. Let's check a quick test bit here. Make sure that's. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And in fact, that's exactly how I'm going to get the next distance that I need. We're going to slide it all the way down inside, and I'm going to make a mark that way. Okay. Perfect. That gives us our line. And using the same edge again, we're just going to come right up on that line, get ourselves good and square, and start making our passes. Wondering if my Instagram feed died. Nikki said, "Uh-oh, did I break it?" and then never commented again. All right. And that should, right on the edge of our table again. Oh man, this might be my new favorite material to work with. So easy. Oh, I love that. All right. Get rid of our little excess piece there. And we're going to do it. We're going to set this thing up. Instagram will see it really well. Is Instagram still working? I don't know. But we're gonna fill this up here and see how we do. I'm gonna leave that protective film on for just a sec. We're gonna take a couple of these shelves and stick them in here. Some of these are extra thin. They're meant to go on the very bottom. Let's see, yeah, this one's a thin one. It goes on the very bottom. And then this one can go here. And just like that, we've got our crushed car shelves all lined up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take some of these Monster Jam minis, because we gotta populate it if we're doing this. You know what I mean? In fact, I'm gonna take one of these to lean it on. We're gonna put Avenger in the middle there. I like that Avenger. We got a Gravedigger to go next to it. Gotta have Gravedigger in there. Got the Dragon. We got Megalodon. These are cool little toys. We got Monster Jam Dalmatian. We got Earthshaker. That's also a metallic. I think I have another metallic in one of these. All right, that's another dragon. I'm not. Oh wait, no, that's Bakugan Dragonoid, right? Is that two different vehicles? No, I guess it's the same one, just different color. We got there's an Alien Invasion, I think, is that one? I don't know. That could be one of the weird military ones. We got Mohawk Warrior. I like that he's purple. That's cool. Good color choices. see, we got we got a regular monster mutt. I'm gonna put him right behind Gravedigger. We got double of the Mohawk Warrior. We'll set him aside. We got a Blue Thunder, and then let's see. Ooh, yeah, I see one in here that we should grab for sure. We got an El Toro Loco, Rip Bison's favorite modern day monster truck. So we got some more doubles there. Ooh, and I see exactly the one that I want to put in here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Got a there's a Max D. Oh no, there's Dragonoid. Yeah, that's Dragon. We had Dragonoid. This one's Dragon. Okay. Put that one in there. Those are all looking great. This looks fantastic. I am thrilled with how this looks. All right, but it's not done yet because we need our little cover piece, and I am thrilled to pieces that it is just going to come apart for us. The trick's going to be getting the other protective sheet off of here because that first one is easy. But the one on the other side, so I tend to not have long fingernails. I keep my fingernails very short for pro wrestling, courtesy to my opponents. There we go. Oh, that's going to look so good. All right, we're going to... Okay, so it needs to go this way. There is a proper way for it to line up. There we go. I'm going to try to get this on both cameras at once. Yeah! Look at that. And that's our result there. That looks so good. I mean, come on. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the Instagram live there. Thank you on Instagram for hanging out. And over on Twitch, if you're still watching, the folks who were there and the folks watching this later on YouTube, that's the end result. I got another one of these to slap together. I'm going to do it off camera, and I am thrilled to pieces with how this went. This is so clean, so good. I'm actually going to go ahead and swap to the other camera because I can probably get a bit of a better view here. It's a little dark, but that's okay. There we go. Let's, yeah. Look at that. That's looking really good. Oh, I'm so excited. All right. Anyhow, that is the end of this this live stream. Thank you all for hanging out. I will talk to you again soon. I'll be streaming tomorrow, 9 p.m. Here on twitch.tv/PerryVonVicious. Thanks for hanging out.